You're watching Tag TV.
Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Akansha Parimu. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 27th of June. US envoy Nikki Haley visits India aiming to boost ties. Baloch activists hold anti-China protest in London over CPEC project. And Helmand peace activists reject Taliban's allegations as baseless. And now for all the details, US Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley on Wednesday said her visit to India was aimed at solidifying the partnership between the two countries. She pointed to opportunities in Indo-US relationship at multiple levels, including counter-terrorism and military aspects.
United States Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley on Wednesday said the primary focus of her visit to India was to solidify the relationship between the New Delhi and Washington. Haley, who is on a two-day visit, made the comments while visiting a 440-year-old Mughal marvel Humayun's tomb in Indian capital New Delhi. She said her visit aimed at exploring multiple ways to take Indo-US ties forward.
Whether it's countering terrorism, whether it's the fact that we want to continue our democratic opportunities, whether it's the fact we're going to start to work together more strongly on the military aspect. There's a lot of things that India and the US have in common.
Haley's visit comes day before the US-India 2+2 dialogue on July 6, which will focus on strengthening strategic security and defense cooperation. During her two-day visit, she will meet top Indian leadership, business leaders and students, underscoring America's strong alliance with the country.
Following the recent killing of a senior journalist in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province by militants, a peaceful protest was carried out by journalists in Srinagar city on Tuesday. The protesters demanded press freedom and safety of journalists.
A peaceful protest was carried out by journalists in Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Tuesday over the killing of a senior journalist earlier this month. Kashmir Editors Guild was joined by other journalists from across the province in the protest, which was held in memory of journalist Shujat Bukhari, who was shot dead by militants. The journalists peacefully walked while covering their mouth with black clothes. They also carried placards and banners with Bukhari's photos and pro-press freedom quotes. The protest aimed to highlight the issue of press freedom, safety of journalists and justice in Shujat's killing by militants.
एक कलेक्टिव तौर पे हम शुजात बुखारी की जो किलिंग है, जो बहुत दरिंदा और खौफनाक किस्म की किलिंग है, उसका हम प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं और हम ये बताना चाहते हैं कि प्रेस यहाँ पे टोटली कमिटेड है अपनी एक प्रोफेशनल ड्यूटी को परफॉर्म करने के लिए.
Shujat Bukhari was killed by militants while leaving his office for pre-Eid celebration during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan. New Delhi accuses Islamabad of arming and infiltrating militants across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
Moving on, Baloch activists recently staged a protest outside the Chinese embassy in London against the construction of the multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project in Balochistan. Activists have long alleged that both China and Pakistan are plundering the natural resources in Balochistan and perpetrating atrocities on innocent Baloch people.
The Free Balochistan movement activist held a protest recently in front of Chinese embassy in London against its expansionist politics in Balochistan. The Baloch, who have been fighting against the forceful occupation of Pakistan, are opposing the multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC, which passes through the region. Political activists have long accused Pakistan Army of human rights abuses in southern West Balochistan province. They blame innocent Balochs are subjected to torture, killings and enforced disappearances for raising their voices.
China is telling Pakistan how to relocate or displace Baloch villages from Balochistan, which are the villages which are en route of CPEC. So they are committing gross human rights violations over there. Young youth have been picked up, disappeared, and their mutilated bodies have been found on or in different areas of Balochistan.
Pakistan is committing human rights violation in Balochistan, including enforced disappearances, kill and dump, including abducting women and children. And China is basically crime partner of Pakistan, helping Pakistan to commit these crimes.
Indigenous Baloch people term the CPEC project, which passes through Balochistan, as illegal and an attempt to exploit their natural resources. Activists have long alleged China and Pakistan are aiming to change the demography of the region and have been committing atrocities against the innocent Baloch people.
In news from Afghanistan, the Helmand peace activists in Afghanistan have rejected Taliban's allegation that their campaign has been fabricated by the United States. The activists on Tuesday also called on the Taliban to provide sufficient evidence to their allegations.
The Helmand peace activists in Afghanistan on Tuesday rejected Taliban's allegations that the campaign they are running is fabricated by the United States. The activists call on the Taliban to provide sufficient evidence to their allegations. This comes 2 days after members of the Helmand Peace Convoy marched through the streets of Kabul as they made their way to the United Nations Assistance Mission for Afghanistan, or UNEMA, for a sit-in protest.
بهرنۍ اړیکه وه، بهرنۍ پیسه وه، بهرنۍ اجندا وه. تاسو یې ثبوت کړئ، دولت دیم راکش کړي، محاکمه دې راسره وکړي، او طالب دیم موږ راکش کړي، محاکمه دې راسره وکړي.
The peace convoy was expected to hold a sit-in protest in front of the US Embassy in Kabul on Wednesday to stress the need for solid measures to be taken by the countries and parties involved in peace in Afghanistan. Activists will then conduct similar protests in front of Iran, Pakistan and Russian embassies.
More on news from Afghanistan. A new sport called motocross is getting popular among the youth in Afghanistan's Herat province nowadays. The athletes from Herat love to race and wish motocross becomes the national sport of Afghanistan one day.
Motocross is a new sport in Afghanistan which is getting popular among the youth of Herat province, where at least one race is organized every week. Despite being dangerous, the athletes love to do their racing as they are passionate about it. One such race was held on Tuesday in which at least 10 athletes participated.
احساسات خورما گفته نمیتونیم چون که یک هیجان خاصی داره این ورزش، چون که این یک ورزش متفاوت از ورزش‌های دیگه، چون که خطر از هم زیادتر است و این پرهزینه هم هست.
در 18 تا موتور برفتیم، هر کدوم تقریبا 6-7 هزار افغانی از جیب خود دولت به ما کمک هم نکرد.
The number of motocross riders in Western Herat province is increasing day by day. The new sport in Afghanistan still lacks a motocross federation, but athletes say they will continue their efforts to witness the day when they change motocross into a national sport in their country.
Moving on to news from Nepal. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has said his government is committed to protect the borders and there will be no transaction related to the country's boundaries and land on any pretext. Oli made the remarks while addressing the parliament after returning from his 6-day official visit to China.
Nepalese Premier KP Sharma Oli has said his government will do its bit to protect the country's borders and territorial integrity. Oli, while addressing the parliament on Tuesday, said there will be no transaction related to Nepal's borders and land on any pretext. India and China had agreed in 2015 to expand border trade at Lipu Lake, a tri-junction boundary point between Nepal, India and China. The agreement had resulted in wide criticism and opposition in Nepal. Oli addressed the parliament just after his 6-day official visit to China that concluded last week. The premier's China visit came after he visited India in April. He was expected to boost his nation's ties with neighboring India and China since he joined the office in February this year.
India's youngest and world's second youngest Grandmaster is back home after receiving his third Grandmaster title in Italy. The 12-year-old hails from Chennai city of India's southern Tamil Nadu province.
R. Pragnandaha from Chennai city of India's southern Tamil Nadu province recently became the country's youngest and world's second youngest Grandmaster and is now back home. Pragnandaha received his third Grandmaster title at Great Iron Open in Italy. He earned the coveted title in chess at the age of 12 years and 10 months, making him short of 3 months from world's youngest Grandmaster. His family struggled financially till 2015 before Pragnandaha got a sponsor. Both Pragnandaha and his sister are experts in the game.
எல்லா ஃபேமிலியில் இருக்க மாதிரி சாதாரண அப்பா அம்மாங்க தான் நாங்களும். எங்கள் குழந்தைங்க சாதாரண குழந்தைங்க தான். அது கடவுள் அருளால் அவங்களுக்கு கொடுத்துருக்க திறமையை அதுக்கு நாங்கள் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம். அந்த திறமையை வளர்த்து விட்டுட்ருக்கோம். மற்றபடி ஒன்றும் நாங்கள் ஸ்பெஷலாக ஒன்றும் அவங்களுக்கு பண்ணுறதில்ல. அதுவே கடவுள் இப்படி இருக்கணும்னு அமைச்சிருக்காரு. அது நடந்துகிட்ருக்கு.
I started chess at when I was 3 years, and by seeing my sister, she was playing at that time, and she's now a woman international master. And in this last tournament, I became a GM, and I'm very happy about it.
Pragnandaha won his first Grandmaster norm at the World Junior Championships in Treviso in November 2017. He achieved his second norm by winning the Herculeon Fischer Memorial Grandmaster Norm tournament in Greece in April earlier this year.
The first batch of pilgrims to Hindu cave shrine Amarnath arrived in Udhampur district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province on Wednesday amid tight security. Nearly 200,000 pilgrims from across the country have reportedly registered themselves for the annual pilgrimage.
Starting this year's pilgrimage to the Hindu cave shrine Amarnath in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province, the first batch of pilgrims reached Udhampur district of the province on Wednesday. Devotees in large numbers gathered to start the holy journey hailing the name of Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction, as police and paramilitary force personnel stood guard at the bus station. The vehicles carrying the devotees have been equipped with radio frequency identification to track and prevent them from getting lost. Bike ambulances have also been introduced for speedy first aid or medical assistance.
पुख्ता अरेंजमेंट्स हैं. ये कोशिश की गई है, सारे कंटीजेंसी को वर्कआउट किया गया है, रिहर्स किया गया है और ये कोशिश की गई है कि यात्रा बिल्कुल सुरक्षित और सेफ हो.
पहली बार हम लोग बाबा बर्फानी के दर्शन करने के लिए जा रहे हुए हैं और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. फ़िलहाल यहाँ का अरेंजमेंट बहुत ही अच्छा हुआ है और हमारे साथ काफ़ी लोग हैं, हमारे घर के लोग हैं और हम लोग दुआ करेंगे कि अच्छी यात्रा हो.
Till now, nearly 200,000 pilgrims from across the country have reportedly registered themselves for the pilgrimage. On July 10th last year, at least 9 Amarnath pilgrims were killed and 19 others injured in a militant attack on a bus in Anantnag district.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. US envoy Nikki Haley visits India, aiming to boost ties. Baloch activists hold anti-China protest in London over CPEC project. And Helmand peace activists reject Taliban's allegations as baseless. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
You're watching TAG TV.